May it please the court. Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury, no one forced his hand. Today, you are going to hear about the defendant, Avery Bancroft. The defendant bribed the chair of the Midlands Gambling Commission in exchange for the chair's vote for his proposal to obtain a new casino license in Midlands. When the Midlands Gambling Commission announced that they were ready to seek proposals in order to issue out a new casino license, the defendant jumped at this opportunity and saw it as an opportunity to expand his empire. At that, the defendant was stopped at nothing to do so, including breaking the law. The defendant already admits in her statement that she gave money to the chair of the Midlands Gambling Commission in order to obtain a new casino license. Now, this case that we have before us today is a case of the defendant who is trying to point the finger at undercover detective Mickey Keenan, accusing her of entrapment. Members of the jury, this is just the defendant's attempt to escape the consequences of her own actions. The defendant's theory on how the bribe took place is that undercover detective Keenan forced her to bribe the chair of the Midlands Gambling Commission. This theory is an absolute converse of what really took place. The defendant had sufficient motive to initiate this bribe. The defendant wanted to become the only casino owner in Midlands to have 2 casinos. In order to make this possible, the defendant contacted the chair of the Midlands Gambling Commission, Chase Covington, and gave the chair cash in exchange for the chair's vote for her proposal. No one forced her hand. The defendant, looking to further her own self-interest, made this bribe out of her own free will. The defendant openly admits in her statement that she gave money to the chair of the Gambling Commission in exchange for the chair's vote for her proposal to approve her a new casino license. In the end, the defendant wanted a new casino license, and the defendant received a new casino license. This case we have before us today is just the defendant trying to escape the consequences of her own actions. But the defendant made this bribe out of her own free will. No one forced her hand. We as the prosecution have to prove to you today that beyond a reasonable doubt, that the defendant was predisposed to make this bribe to the chair of the Midlands Gambling Commission. By beyond a reasonable doubt, I mean that there is no way to describe how this bribe took place beyond reason, that the defendant was predisposed to make this bribe to the chair of the Gambling Commission. To prove this here to you today, we will be calling upon 3 witnesses. The first witness that we will call upon is a bellhop from the defendant's own Black Bear Casino, named Devin Del Sesto. Del Sesto will testify about some of the events that he witnessed take place, go on around the casino, leading up to the vote by the Gambling Commission to issue a new casino license to the defendant. The second witness we will be calling upon you today is a linguist named Reese Warren. Warren will testify how the undercover detective Mickey Keenan operated his investigation sufficiently to police standards. The third witness we will call upon before you today is undercover detective Mickey Keenan. Keenan will tell you about how he operated his investigation sufficiently to police standards, and that he never forced Ms. Bancroft to bribe anyone. At the end of today's trial, my co-counsel Amelia Monsalvo will come before you and ask that you find the defendant guilty. Thank you.